Hello, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show you how to create our first shell script by using bash. Bash is a shell, and shell is a subsystem within operating system which helps the user to interact with the kernel. If a user does any action, let's say open a text editor and type in any word and save it, all of these actions are translated by the shell so the kernel can understand every single command and execute what the user wants. So that's the main purpose of a shell. But also we can interact directly with that shell by using the terminal. That's why I'm going to show you this how to do this. If we type in any command, let's say ls, which is a command to list all the files and the directories that I have in certain location. As you can see, the first command return me nothing because I don't have any file at the moment, and the second return me total 0 because the same reason. But another way to interact with the shell is by doing shell scripts. A script is just a regular plain text file, but if we grant some permissions and we follow some syntax, it can be converted and interpreted by the shell as a script and execute every single command that is written in it. So let's try to create a new file. I'm going to use BI, which I like this editor from Linux distributions, but you can also create scripts by using graphical editors like gedit or any other that you prefer. If you are in another operating systems, I'd like to mention that, for instance, Windows, it also has a shell which is ms2, but and you can also create scripts there. You can create it the same way. I mean, you can open up plain text and type in all the commands and get them processed by the shell itself. So in this case, I'm going to use BI. I'm going to call it my first script.sh. I'd like to mention that in Linux, the extensions or the file extensions are not important. You can set or let it empty for the extensions, as Linux or the shell will interpret all the commands that are inside, and it doesn't matter the extension. But is a good practice to set one of those for organizing purposes. So for all my shell scripts are called the name .sh for shell. And for instance, if I create some Python programs, so the extension that I'm going to use is .py. Okay, so let me open this. This is after I type in BI and the file name I hit enter, it redirected me to another page, which is this one. So I'm going to start setting this, which is called the shebang. These special characters help the interpreter or the shell to understand what is going to be executed after. So In this case, I'm going to use bash, so I'm explicitly tell it that I'm going to need this shell. So, okay, I'm going to use, this is a hello world type script because this is our first script that we are going to use and execute. So I'm only printing this string, my first shell script, and that's it. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to list what do I have in this path. As you can see, I can see the file that we just created, and these are the permissions that it has at the moment. Read and write. That's it. These are for the users, these are for the group, and these are for the rest. I'll explain more about permissions in another video, but I just want to show you that at this moment it's just a file with a plain text. It's not a script because it cannot be executed. But if I change the permissions, which I'm going to do with chmod command, so you can now see the permissions are a bit different. Read, write, and execute, which is the X letter. And also you can see the script file is now in green, which means I can execute this file now. These colors can be changed. Uh, every Linux distribution can have their own terms for that, and also it can be modified by the user. But in this case, the green represents it can be executed. So to execute this script, I'm going to use the command bash, then the script name. After I hit enter, all of the commands that were inside, in this case just the echo, was executed successfully, and it printed the string that I pasted in that script. Let's see the content with a cat command. And this line, this string, is what was printed here. Another way to execute the script is with dot slash and the script name. It does the same. As you can see, we have the same output. Okay, that's it for this video. This was our first script in bash, and we will see more commands and more about scripting in future videos. So please subscribe, and also you can suggest more topics if you want to see or you want to learn more about different programs, different applications, or different topics. Thanks.